Hello and welcome to Mr. Connally's Math Lesson 3.1.5 today, problems 73 through 77. Go ahead and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to get information on future videos. In the bottom right hand corner we have the homework. Let's zoom in on that. Let's take a look at what our expectations are for this. They are as follows. Title your paper homework. Write the number of the problems in the focus note margin. Show your work. Box your answer. Write in a complete sentence. Use the back of the paper if you need more room. Guidelines for using this video effectively are: watch and listen to the video. The sound should be on. Do not skip ahead. Do not just mindlessly copy. Pause the video when you need time to write or think. Put a question mark next to the problem you don't understand. Rewatch and listen to the video when needed, and ask questions in class or in the comments below. Question 73. In this lesson, you've looked for ways to convert between equivalent forms of fractions, decimals, and percents. Using the portions web, which we learned about today, write the other forms of the number for each of the given portions below. Show your work so that a team member could understand your process. Write 4/5 as a decimal, percent in words, with words or picture. All right, so remember this from class. The top part is the fraction, the bottom left is the decimal, and the right is the percent, and inside is the words. I already wrote the words for you because it's harder for me to write it with this terrible stylus. Okay, so write 4/5 as a decimal, so that's easy. That's the fraction one, so we'll put it on top. We have 4/5. Remember in class I told you you can just draw a triangle if that's easier for you, other than having to do these elaborate double arrows things that they have on there. Okay, so 4/5 is the fraction. We got that part. Now let's go to the decimal. This one is harder because it's not in tens or hundreds. Now the percent is easier in hundreds, so let's go ahead and convert 4/5 into a fraction out of 100. And there we'll have the percent, much easier. So let's multiply it by a big giant 1. Okay, 5 times what number equals 100? That's the same as 5 times what number equals 100? And we can work backwards and we can say, oh, this is the same as 100 divided by 5 equals our mystery number. Okay, 100 divided by 5, we divide it into 4 pieces, it's 25, so you divide it into 5, that would be 20. So 5 times 20. Okay, 4 times 20 is 80, and look at that, it's 80 out of 100, so we could say 4/5 or 80 out of 100, but I'm just more interested in knowing that 80 out of 100, that's the definition of percent. Percent literally means out of 100, so that means this is the same as 80%. So go ahead and put 80% at the bottom here. And also, 81/100ths is easy, because we know that's the same as 0.8. And you can put a 0 there or just keep it as 0.8. It doesn't matter. And there you have it. You have the first one done with words, with a decimal, with a percent, and a fraction. You could also put 80 over 100. So now that you got the idea, let's go to B. 0.30 as a fraction, percent. Of course, we'll do the whole thing. So 0.03, that's the decimal over here, 0.30. And if we look at it backwards, we know this is the same as 30/100ths. Okay, 30/100ths is the same as 30 over 100. So go ahead and at the top and put 30 over 100 as a fraction. And then what percent would that be? 30 out of 100. That's right, it would be 30%. Go ahead and put that in the box over there. We got 30 out of 100 on top, and 0.30, and 30/100ths is also the same as 30%. Pause if you need more time. C, write 85% as a fraction. Alrighty, so 85% is the same as 85/100ths. So again, 85/100ths is the same as 85%. It goes over there. Now remember, 85/100ths is the same as 85 over 100, which you can put up there. And I'll let you do the decimal. I'm pretty sure you can get that by now. If not, I'll give you a hint. Just put a decimal and then 8 and 5. All right, for D, write 1 and 23 hundredths as a percent, as a decimal, and a fraction. 1 and 23 hundredths. So let's think about that for a second. It's saying 1 and means plus 23 hundredths. Okay, so 23 hundredths means 23 over 100. Okay, so that's 1, basically 1 and 23 100ths. Okay, so that's what you can put up there. That's what I wrote down here, 1 and 23 100ths. So you can put that same fraction up top here. And then writing it as a decimal, you can think of it this way. 1 is 1.00. And 23 100ths is the same as 0.23. So put those two together. 1 plus, let's think of it as $1.23. What would that answer be? Yeah, you're right, it'd be $1.23. So let's take that $1.23 and let's put it over here. And that'll be your decimal. And now, this one's a little different. The percent is going to be a little bit harder to understand. Remember, this is one whole, or that's the same as one giant blue base 10 block plus only 23 2/10 and 3/1. Put it all together, it's actually more than 100%. So with that hint that it's more than 100%, go ahead and put that answer there for the percent. Pause if you need more time. Okay, I'm assuming you did that. Let's go to 74. Maya and Logan each made up a Guess My Decimal game just for you. That was so nice of them. Use their clues to determine the number. Maya gives you this clue. Well, the decimal I'm thinking of is 3/10 greater than 80%. What is my decimal? Show your work. Oh, that's kind of harsh. Okay, we'll show our work. All right, let's go back and circle the important information. We're looking at a decimal. I'm thinking of is 3/10 greater than 80%. Okay, when it says just greater than, it doesn't mean you put a greater than symbol. It just means that it's bigger than or more than. If it says is greater than, then you use an inequality symbol, which we'll talk about more later. Okay, so we're looking at a decimal answer. So we'll start with 3/10. So 3/10 we know is 0.3 because that's the tenths place. Greater than, so that means it's increasing more than 80%. Except 80% is a percent. And we want to do it, we want our answer to be a decimal. So let's take 80%. And what is that as a decimal? We know that's the same as 80 over 100, which is the same as 80 hundredths, or 8/10 really. So that's the same as 0.8. And we can put a 0 there. We don't have to. It's this, because remember, 8/10 is the same as 0.8. Okay, so 0.8. Okay, 0.8 or 0.80. It doesn't matter. You can even add a 0 here. Okay, add those up. Line up the decimals. And that'll be your answer in decimal form. All right, B. Logan and his mischievous games. Continues the game with this clue. My decimal is 3/100ths less than 3/10. Use pictures and or words to show your thinking. All right, so again, we're looking for a decimal. And it is, that means it equals 3/100ths. And then it says less than 3/10. Now it doesn't say is less than, it just says less than. So that means we're going to subtract it from 3/10. So we've got 3/10 minus 3/100ths. Ugh, gosh, I need to get a better stylus. All right, 3/10. We know that's 0.3 because that's the tenths place, minus 3/100, which is 0.03. Okay, so that'll be the answer. Just subtract those two. I'll help you out. Let's line up the decimal. 0.03. Remember, order matters in subtraction. It's not like commutative of addition. Okay, so 0.3 minus 0.03. I'll add a hanging decimal place there. I've lined them up. Go ahead and find your answer to put there by subtracting. You're going to have to borrow from the 3. All right, pause if you need more time. All right, good job. Let's move on. 375. Amanda and Jimmy have jobs as dog walkers. Examine the graph at right and answer the following questions. Who has more hours of dog walking? How do you know? All right, I wrote some sentence frames for you to make it easier on you and me. All right, so who has more? Let's look over this information. Let's look at Amanda. It looks like Amanda walks for about, looking about straight up from the 3, so it looks like she does 3 hours. And then if you go across, it looks like it's about 20, 21. Okay, so it's about 20 or 21. Let's just say 20. $20 earned. So hours to dollars is 3 out of 20. And then let's look at Jimmy. Jimmy does about 2 hours, and he makes about, oh my gosh, about $10. About maybe a little more than 10. It's hard to tell because they didn't put little lines here to tell us where their tick marks are. I think they did that on purpose, those wily CPM people. All right, so 10, 2 and 10. All right. So who has more hours of dog walking? Well, we can see by looking over to Amanda, she's farther to the right. So that means she has more. And if it was to the left, it would be less or lesser. Hours of dog walking would have to be Amanda. So go ahead and put Amanda in here. Has more hours of dog walking. How can you tell? Okay, well, since we're looking at the x-axis, because that has the hours of dog walking, I can tell, you can tell by seeing that Amanda is farther to the right. Amanda is farther to the right. Therefore, she has higher hours. B, who has earned the least amount of money? Okay, let's look at this. Who's earned the least amount of money? Okay, so dollars earned is on this one. And now let's look at Jimmy. Jimmy makes $10 and Amanda makes 20. Never mind that Amanda's working more hours. Let's just look at clearly how much money they've made. So Jimmy is lower. He has $10. So who's earned the least amount of money? And that would be Jimmy. And you can tell this by seeing that Jimmy is lower on the y. This is the y-axis. Jimmy's dot is lower. His point is lower. Okay. And if it was higher, it would be more. So since Jimmy's is lower on the y-axis, we can tell that he's made less money. Okay, so fill that on in. Pause, and when you're ready, let's move on. Here we go. Amanda and Jimmy have, oh, we already did this one. So we're doing C. Are both students earning the same amount of money per hour? Show your work to justify your answer. Okay, shoot. On the last slide, I did all the work. Let's do it again. So we see Amanda works about 3 hours, makes about 20, maybe $21 if we really wanted to say it. That would be so much easier. And then Jimmy works about 2, and he makes about $10. Okay. So let's start by just writing them in. So Amanda is earning a certain amount, and then Jimmy is earning a certain amount. We know that Jimmy, or let's start with Amanda, is going to be the same as $20 divided by 3 hours. So that means that the top number always goes inside the box, not because it's bigger, it's because it's the numerator. And this is going to be about 9 would be 27, 7 would be 21. So it's going to be, and now we got a remainder of 2. So about 6 2/3 dollars. So a little more than $6 an hour, plus or minus, or plus $6 an hour. And Jimmy, let's see if it matters. We really need to know the full amount. Jimmy has $10 in 2 hours. So that one's easy. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So Jimmy makes almost exactly $5 an hour. Okay, so go ahead and put those in there. So are they making the same? The answer is, we can clearly see that no. They are not making the same. Amanda is making just a little bit more, about $1 more, a little over $1 more per hour. Okay, finish that one up and let's move on. 76. Preston picked 5 playing cards and got 2, 3, 6, 5, and 1. We can use the student e-tool if we need to. What 2-digit and 3-digit number could he create that would have the greatest sum? Is there more than one possibility? This is one you guys are going to have to work together. Alright, so we got to take these numbers, and if you look at the e-tool, all they did was they just took the numbers and you got to, oh, I'm sorry, you got to touch the blue part. This is, and you want to rearrange them in such a way that you get the biggest answer at the bottom. So think about a strategy you could use for that, and rearrange the numbers in any way that you think would work. Okay, so go ahead and play around with those numbers, write those in here, and see which one is the biggest. Okay, remember you're adding the numbers together. Now for this one, we're trying to find the smallest answer. So this one you want to have the biggest. Now this one we're doing the same thing and add those together. Kids are coming home, sorry about that. Add those together and rearrange them so you can only use 2, 3, 6, 5, and 1. Okay, come up with a strategy, see how to make the smallest sum and see how to make the greatest sum, the biggest answer. Alright, pause and take a try at that one. Alright, last one, 377. Use the distributive property to rewrite each product. Okay, so this is what we used before to find the answer. So here's a 2-digit number, 28, and 63 is 2-digit. The smallest number is 28. That's great. That's greater than 19. Usually when it's 20 or more, we use 2 boxes for each side. So we break up both numbers. It's just the way it's done in the book. Okay, 20 plus 8. And then the other one is 60, 6 tens plus 3 ones. Okay, so now you're going to multiply in these boxes. 20 times 60. And what does that equal? That answer goes here. And then 20 times 3 goes in this one. And that's going to be, this answer can go here. It doesn't really matter. We're going to add them all up anyway. 60 times 8 Let's use a dot. Maybe that's easier. 60 times 8, that answer goes here. And then 8 times 3 is 24. That answer goes here. Once you add them all up, you'll have your grand answer right there. Go ahead and do that. Pause if you need to, or come back to it later. Okay, now for B, 17 is less than 20, so we're going ahead and just put 17 here and use it as a, just pretend it's a one-digit number because it's less than 20. 50 plus 9. So this is going to be 17 times 50. Answer go here. And this is going to be 17 times 9. And that will go here. Add those up to get your mega answer. And then the last one, oh, of course, we need to have a giant one. We've got 458, which I miscopied. So 15, we can just keep it as 15. And then 458, that's 4 hundredths plus 51s, and then I forgot to put 8 here. Okay, let's turn this into a plus, and that equals the answer. So do 400 times 15, put that here, answer here. 15 times 50 goes here. 15 times 8 goes here. Go ahead and add those all up, and you have your final answer. Go ahead and pause if you need more time. All right, did you finish? I just want to say
congratulations on completing your homework assignment. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to Mr. Connally's Math to get updates on future videos. Thanks for watching.